Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the main reasons you're not progressing as a b-boy. So as a teacher, I encountered three main reasons why people are not progressing. Sometimes I see it even in other b-boys or recognize it in myself. So reason number one, which is very common and I encounter all the time, is people are simply not practicing enough. For instance, I have students that can do 8 flares, which is pretty decent, but then they're not really happy how that flare looks, and they only practice once a week. Yeah, you will not see much progress beyond what you already reached, simply because you're not putting the time in. Try to practice 3 times a week. If you don't have time, make time. You're not unique in this, right, that you're busy. This is very common, but you have to make the time. You can also practice at home, do some workout, do some stretching, but make time to put 3 times a week into your break and you will see more progress, because this is so common that people only practice once a week and then something happens, and even if they cannot practice at all, that's way too little, guys. You have to put the time in. This is only common sense. So try to make some time if you don't have it, right? Because it's quite common that you can't, and then you simply have to make the time. So reason number 2, this is also quite common and I see it a lot, is people are practicing moves that they are not ready for. So I'm going to give very obvious examples, but it basically goes about all your break. Let's say you want to do the head spin, but you cannot stand on your head. This makes 0 sense, but basically, more or less, I see this all the time. People try to 90, can't even do a handstand. See, that makes no sense. You have to, at the very least, work at these basics at the same time. And the more you work on the basics, the more control you have. And here's a little tip. If you're sort of stuck, try to work as much as you can on freezes, both on 2 hands, but also on 1 hand and on both sides. The more you have good freezes, the better control you basically get of your body. And it's even those building blocks for stuff like power moves. And then once you unlock those freezes, try to do hopping freezes, which is even better, like hand hops, elbow hops, you know, whatever, crickets, chair hops, whatever hop, very good. And also try to do this on both sides. These are basically the building blocks for a lot of moves and gives you a lot of control of your body, which even helps you with footwork and stuff. So if you're sort of stuck, I encourage you to work at this at least all the time, right? And then at the same time, you can still do stuff like head spin. It's not that you cannot do some crazy stuff, but also work on the basics. It's very common that people try stuff that they're not really ready for, and they don't see any progress because of it, right? So, and reason number 3, which is also quite common, is that people are very, very stuck in a mind state. For instance, they only practice power move and they don't see any progress in that power move. It's always the same things. The best thing to do at that point, unless you're really not practicing at all, the best thing then is just simply more practice, like I said. But the best thing to do is actually switch directions for a while. Try to focus a little bit, for instance, on footwork, right? And you will automatically start progressing because you're doing stuff you're normally not focusing on. You will see a lot of progress, and you can incorporate that stuff. And it also goes the other way, of course. Let's say you're always jamming, rocking, trying to do footwork moves. Why not focus a little bit on getting moves? And, you know, you will see progress simply because you're doing stuff you're normally not doing. And then b-boying is so big, you can focus on insane amount of things, right? Like let's say flips, top rocks, whatever, right? Back rocks, whatever. But then you will see progress simply because you're doing new stuff and unlocking new stuff that you can use in your style and automatically progress. So there's a last reason why people are often not progressing, and this is also quite common. It sort of goes into the second reason I gave, that you don't have the proper basics, is that people are simply not flexible and strong enough. So, like I said, my students can do, excuse me, my students can do pretty good flares, but like I said, they're not really happy with the results. But then I just see they lack the flexibility to do it any better. Usually working on a lot of freezes also unlocks your flexibility, but it is almost a prerequisite that you also stretch a little. It's almost a prerequisite, you know, that you don't have to do workout, but then work on all those freeze combos, right? Because this will unlock it. And if you lack that, simply you don't have the flexibility to do half the stuff you're trying to do, it will not work out and you will not progress, guys. So as a teacher, I have to say, reason number one, you're not practicing enough. This is the main thing, right? But these other reasons are also there, and maybe there's more reasons, like you're injured or whatever the reason might be, right? But these are the main ones I see. And if you recognize one of these in yourself, like for instance, yeah, I don't really have control over my freezes. I can't do a one-hand handstand, but I try to 90. You know, work a little bit on this and you will start seeing progress. See you next time.